Democrats and members of the mainstream media did give President Trump credit for his big success this week, but not all. According to FoxNews.com, MSNBC primetime programs spent just 30 seconds on American prisoners' return home from North Korea. 30 seconds. Joining us now with reaction is Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and former Clinton pollster and Fox News contributor Doug Schoen, who's joining me here in studio in New York. Congressman, thank you for joining us here. Was America fooled? Is Senator Schumer? Was President Trump fooled? Is that the right word for Senator Schumer to use?
Well, it must be very embarrassing for the political left and the mainstream media that Dennis Rodman conducted more diplomacy in North Korea than the Obama administration ever did. And here we've got President Trump actually delivering results. So let's check the scoreboard. Under the Obama administration, we put 5 terrorists back on the battlefield to get the deserter Bo Bergdahl back. Here in the last week, President Trump goes and gets the 5 principal leaders of ISIS and takes them off the battlefield. At the same time, we're bringing home 3 Americans. So if you look at the results, if you look at the scoreboard, President Trump has America winning, and that's not something we were used to over the last 8 years.
Yes, and Doug, again, you're joining me here in studio. Listen, I remember candidate Barack Obama. He talked about the idea that, hey, listen, I would go meet with all these world leaders, and now you have President Trump not having to pay to bring home hostages through good, hard, tough negotiation and being able to say, hey, look, peace through strength has been his position. I mean, he does deserve some credit, or was he fooled like what Senator Schumer said?
No, look, he does. I say this as a Democrat, but Jason, first of all, as an American. And we got to stop the politics. We all, Democrats, Republicans, liberals, and conservatives, want and need a deal with North Korea. We need with Iran to work with our allies to make sure they do what President Rouhani said. Stick to the terms of the deal. If they start enriching, tighten the sanctions. But this is an American set of issues. This isn't Democrat versus Republican. I praise Donald Trump as an American who's proud that the American president brought home the hostages.
Yeah, and to Congressman Gaetz, listen, are expectations too high with this meeting coming up with Kim Jong-un? I mean, you're not going to solve everything with one quick sit down, but the expectation seems to be so high now that what's your perspective on that?
Well, expectations are high because we are making progress. But just because we're making progress, it doesn't dictate or guarantee any type of result. In almost all of the comments that President Trump has made on the issue, he said, if there are not terms that are favorable to the United States, if there's not a verifiable way to ensure that North Korea cannot continue to do harm, then we'll get up and walk away. We're not going to make a bad deal. And that's one of the major differences in this administration and the last administration. The last administration made a bad deal with Iran. I think it's very timely that the president now is saying we're not going to do those bad deals anymore. We're going to enforce terms, and we're going to have enforceable terms, not secret side negotiations or documents that the Congress and the American people don't see. So I'm very encouraged, and I'm hopeful, but certainly there's no result that's guaranteed.
Doug, what's a reasonable expectation of success for the president going in here? I mean, what is reasonable?
What is reasonable is that we be on a path towards a verifiable deal that denuclearizes the Korean Peninsula. I think Representative Gaetz is right. We're not going to have a quick fix deal in 30 seconds. Obviously, we know that there's a lot of work that's done pre-summit to condition the playing field. The president has said rightly he'll leave if he doesn't find the negotiations productive. But this is going to take a while, and we have to be patient.
Real quickly, I want to give a shout out a little bit to our First Lady, Melania Trump. First of all, she's made me immensely proud. I think she's been a great and wonderful First Lady. She's taken care of Barron, which is in the toughest of circumstances, and I think she's a great representation of the United States. But she laid out this Be Best campaign, Congressman. What's your perspective of that?
Well, I think it's wonderful that the First Lady is reaching out to young people and encouraging them to be part of this great uplifting American experience with an improving economy, low unemployment rate, and also ensuring that we don't foster bullying in our schools, that we have an environment where young people feel safe and secure and able to prosper. And I think she is a wonderful representation of what the American dream can truly be for everyone who is here in our country if we all strive to be the very best version of ourselves.
Doug, what's the Democrats' perspective on the First Lady?
I think she is a symbol of great success And to me, the benefits of immigration, legal immigration, and I hope we get a deal on DACA and the wall so we can move forward in a bipartisan way.
If you and I could work on it, I bet we could have it done by the end of the show. You and I could get that done by the end of the show, and it'd be very conservative, by the way.
And it would be fair and reasonable and would give the dreamers a pathway to staying here and, I dare say, citizenship.
That you've gone too far. All right. So, Congressman, thank you again for joining us. Doug, thanks again for being with us. Still to